I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I simply asked, "You bought a house with my money and your wife and mother-in-law are going to live in it?" The silence that followed was thick enough to choke him. His eyes darted. His lips parted, searching for excuses that refused to come. And in that stillness, I picked up my phone. My hand didn't tremble, my voice didn't shake. I dialed one number. When my son's name lit up on the screen, I pressed speaker. He walked in, half smiling, until he heard my words. "Tell your father what you told me." My son froze. His face drained of color, his hands clenched at his sides. The truth was about to bleed into the open, and there was no way to stop it. The beginning. When I first met him, he was nothing but charm in human form. A voice smooth as silk, promises that glowed brighter than reality, and eyes that made me believe I was safe. He wasn't rich, but he had ambition, or so he claimed. And I was naive. I gave him trust. I gave him my time. I gave him every piece of me that whispered, "This is what love is supposed to feel like." Back then, if he asked for help, I reached into my savings without hesitation. When he talked about our future, I leaned forward, listening like every word was carved into stone. I didn't see it for what it was, a performance. The shift. It started small. He'd turn his phone face down on the table. He'd stay out late and return smelling like soap, freshly showered, but not freshly faithful. He claimed he was working late, but the late nights piled up, and work never showed up in his bank account. The signs were whispers at first, a different tone when he spoke to me, a sudden sharpness when I asked innocent questions, a guilt in his eyes when he thought I wasn't looking. And then, one day, the whisper screamed. A slip, a message that wasn't meant for me. "I'll be there soon. Don't worry, she doesn't suspect a thing." I didn't cry, not then. I felt something colder than sadness, clarity. The discovery. It didn't take much digging. One meeting with the bank, one look at the withdrawal slips, one line item, house purchase, with my money. The money I built with years of discipline, sacrifices, and dreams. A house, not for us, not even for him alone, but for her, the woman he thought he hid so well. And her mother, too. That was the moment the fire turned into ice. Rage became resolve. The shift in me. He expected confrontation. He expected screaming, maybe even begging. That would have made it easier for him. He could call me emotional, irrational, broken. But I didn't give him that gift. I played the quiet game. I smiled when he came home. I cooked his favorite meals. I asked nothing, revealed nothing. Inside, I was mapping every step. Every lie he told became a thread I wove into a trap. The plan. I called my lawyer first, quietly, carefully, no rash moves. We went through the accounts. My name was on everything. Legally, the house wasn't his. He had used my money under my name. Then I called the bank, froze the assets, canceled his cards. He didn't notice. He rarely checked. He thought he was untouchable. I spoke to my son, carefully, truthfully. He had seen enough, heard enough whispers, caught enough fragments of conversations. He knew his father's double life. And when the moment came, I would need his voice, not for me, but for the truth. And then the final stroke. I made sure the woman he had built his secret castle for knew the truth, that the foundation beneath her feet belonged not to him, but to me, that the palace she was moving into was a house of cards, and I was the hand that could flick it down. The execution. So I waited, patient, silent, watching, until the day he bragged, just enough to reveal himself without realizing. He thought he'd played me, thought I was still blind. That's when I asked him the question. You bought a house with my money, and your wife and mother-in-law are going to live in it? And when he stammered, when his lies choked him, I picked up the phone. I called my son and put it on speaker. "Dad," my son said, voice steady but cold, "I heard you. I saw you. I know where you go. You thought I wouldn't notice? You thought Mom wouldn't find out?" The silence broke him. He wasn't expecting witnesses. He wasn't expecting his own blood to confirm the betrayal. The climax. I watched him unravel. His bravado crumbled, his chest heaved, his mouth opened and closed like a drowning man gasping for air. He reached for excuses, but none came. And then came the final blow. I placed the property papers on the table, slid them toward him. His name was nowhere. His signature didn't matter. The house he thought he gifted to his mistress and her mother, it was mine. Legally, permanently. "Pack your things," I said. My voice was calm, too calm. "You don't live here anymore, and neither do they." The resolution. The next morning, the locks were changed, the accounts closed, the cards cut. He was left with nothing.